your servant to whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory and to advance peace, prosperity, and welfare of the country and of those interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, welcome. We'll do a brief introduction. I'll start with the committee members, and then I'll move to the friends of this committee, and then I'll move to the side of the cabinet secretary. And karibu sana, our cabinet secretary with the PS. We start with Honorable Nyenze. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Edith Nyenze, Member of Parliament, Kitui West, and a member of this committee, Social Protection Committee. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Chair, my name is Susan Gogewa Mwindu, whom I represent the county and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Honorable Toto.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Lynette Chepkorir, County MB Bomet, and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Hilary Kosgei, MP for Kipkelian West and the Vice Chair of this committee.
Can I move now to the friends of the committee who are our colleagues at the National Assembly?
Good morning. I'm Donya Doris Aburi, Woman Rep Kisii County.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Wambilianga, Member of Parliament Bungoma, friend to this committee.
Good morning, everybody. Habari zenu. Naitwa Mheshimiwa Mbeyu Mwenyenje, mwakilishi wa jimbo la Kilifi ndani ya bunge la kitaifa. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Honorable Joyce Atieno Sogo Bensuda, Woman Representative Homa Bay County, a friend to this committee.
Thank you very much. Our clerks, can you introduce yourself wherever you are?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Finlay Morioki. I'm the committee clerk.
Good morning. I'm Aminur Hassan, clerk assistant.
Good morning, Derek Kathurima, Media Relations.
Thank you, Chair. Cosmas Ahonya, Audio of Sahansat.
Thank you very much. Our Cabinet Secretary, now it is your side to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, the members of the committee, the friends of this committee, persons from the Ministry of Gender and Affirmative Action, the media, and all Kenyans. Let me take this opportunity to have my team introduce themselves, each individually, so that we can make progress. Thank you for inviting us. Starting with my PS.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Grace Wasike. I'm the director responsible for socioeconomic empowerment at the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. My name is Joyce Mogore. I am a board member at NGAF, representing the PS Social Protection.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Rafael Kimolo from Women Enterprise Fund, representing the CEO. Thank you.
Honorable Chair and members, I'm Jackson Kayaga. I come from the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, representing the CEO. Thank you.
Honorable Chair and members, my name is Sefon Ombachi from State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Tekla Kipseron, Deputy Director Gender and the Parliamentary Liaison Officer. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Evelyn Tanui, Technical Assistant under the Office of the Cabinet Secretary.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Daniela Adala. I'm the PA to the CS.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Barbara from Civil Society. I'm representing an organization called CALA that is concerned with digital transformation.
Good morning, Chair. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Hope Muli.
and I serve as a parliamentary advisor for Parliamentary Center.
Morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Faith Gatere, from a CSO, Differently Talented Society of Kenya, and UDPK, United Disabled Persons of Kenya.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Jennifer Gidegi. I serve as the Parliamentary Liaison and Project Advisor from African Center for Parliamentary Affairs and the CSOs.
Thank you very much. Can I understand the one who is representing social protection? Are you an independent board member, or how are you representing the PS social protection?
Thank you, Chair. I am an alternate member in the boards. So in GAF board, it has alternate members from various PSs. So it has an alternate member for PS Social Protection, alternate member for PS the National Treasury, and now we normally have alternate member also for the PS Gender when she's not sitting in the board.
Oh. So you're not an independent?
No, I'm not an independent board member.
Welcome. Thank you very much, CS. We are here so that you can take us through the National Policy on Women Economic Empowerment. We interacted with this document for the past maybe 1.5 months, and we have gone through. Last week we invited ASEPA. We met them. Actually, they did their submission last week, and then this week we want you to take us through so that we can understand. The friends of the committee who are also honorable members, they also want to understand the document before the committee comes up with a report be tabled at the National Assembly. The reason why we are here today is for you to take us through this document. Yeah, you can take us through the document so that now we understand it better. And then I'll give the honorable members an opportunity if they didn't understand, and then I can give the way forward. Before then, there's a honorable member who has just arrived. She can introduce herself, then we proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and you've seen me smiling because this is the first committee I'm attending chaired by a lady. My name is Caroline Ngeleche. I'm the county MP for Elgeyo Marakwet County and a member of the 47 caucus. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see you. Sorry.
No, it's
Welcome.
Thank you.
We met last week.
True.
Welcome.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Joyce Kamene Kasimbi, Machakos County Member of Parliament. And in the 47 caucus, I'm also a member. Thank you.
Thank you. Waziri, take us through.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be making a submission to the Departmental Committee on Social Protection as the Cabinet Secretary for Gender, Culture, and Children's Services. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members of this esteemed committee, honorable county women representatives, allow me to begin by thanking this honorable committee for inviting my team and I through the letter reference number NADDC-SP CORR 2025-058 of October 22nd, 2025, to make submissions on the National Policy on Women's Economic Empowerment 2024. Skills development and market information. Article 27.3 states that women and men have the right to equal treatment, including the right to equal opportunities in political, economic, cultural, and social spheres. The government's priority areas, including the economic pillar, Vision 2030, and medium-term plan 4, focuses on the economic inclusion of vulnerable groups, who include women, children, persons with disabilities, and the elderly. Moreover, the bottom-up transformation agenda of the Kenya Kwanza government incorporates His Excellency the President's 9-point agenda on women that promotes women economic empowerment. And despite constitutional provisions and various policy initiatives aimed at promoting gender equality and women's empowerment in Kenya, significant disparities persist in economic opportunities and outcomes between women and men. Women continue to face systemic barriers such as limited access to factors of production, cultural norms that impede women's economic progress, and insufficient support for women-owned ventures. These challenges contribute to a persistent gender gap in economic participation, hindering the realization of inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Evidence suggests that enhancing women's economic empowerment not only benefits individual women, but also contributes to broader socio-economic development goals, including poverty reduction and enhanced household welfare. However, uncoordinated efforts and inadequate policy coordination have impeded progress towards achieving gender parity in economic opportunities. This was the basis of developing the first ever national policy on women's economic empowerment 2024 to address the existing gaps. Honorable Chairperson, allow me to share the process that was undertaken to develop the national policy on women's economic empowerment 2024. The process of developing the policy. Article 10(2) of the Kenyan Constitution underscores the participation of people in governance as a key tenet of our national values and principles. Guided by the evidence drawn from past initiatives and in-depth analysis, including the informed by the current status of women economic empowerment efforts and the report of medium-term plan 3, the ministry through the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action initiated a public participation process to engage all the relevant stakeholders. The development of the policy entailed a highly consultative process, both at the national and county levels, which inform the content of the policy. Key stakeholders included representatives of Kenya Women Parliamentarians, KEWOPA, government ministries, county governments, development partners, civil society organization, community-based organization, faith-based organization, and the academia. A technical working group was formed to determine the policy context, structure, and content. The policy development process reviewed the decisions of regional and international agreements and national legislative and policy frameworks. In addition, the policy benefited from analysis of emerging issues and opportunities. The draft policy document was further subjected to a comprehensive validation exercise with stakeholders to confirm alignment with national priorities, constitutional provisions, and the aspirations of Kenyan women. Further, the draft policy was submitted and adopted by the second cabinet meeting held in 2025 on 11th March 2025, after submission by the Prime Cabinet Secretary, then acting as the Minister for Gender and Culture, jointly with the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning and the Attorney General. Honorable Chairperson, allow me to share the key highlights of the National Policy on Women Economic Empowerment 2024. The highlights. So the key highlights of the National Policy on Women Economic Empowerment Policy 2024, the goal of this policy is to attain the highest level of women's economic empowerment for inclusive and sustainable development. The policy has 5 objectives, namely, to create a conducive policy environment that will guide women economic empowerment programs, to achieve gender equality and women empowerment in all spheres, to strengthen coordination and partnership among stakeholders to enhance women's economic empowerment, and to promote women's access to and utilization of economic resources, and to promote production, availability, and use of gender statistics for women economic empowerment. The policy focuses on key sectors which impact Kenya's progress towards women economic empowerment and actions to be taken for each of the sector. The key sectors include labor and employment, agricultural value chains and food security, manufacturing and industry, trade and entrepreneurship, access to and control over productive resources, information, communication, technology and digital economy, blue economy, unpaid care work and domestic work, environment and climate change, humanitarian crises, construction, energy and extractives, transport and infrastructure, sports and creative economy, governance and decision making. The policy proposes a multi-sectoral, multi-agency approach in promoting women's economic empowerment. Further, the implementation of this policy will include the roles of county governments on women economic empowerment of Kenya, on the distribution of functions between national and county governments. For the first time in the history of our country, we have a government-led multi-sectoral financing framework for women's economic empowerment. Honorable Chairperson, gender equality and women's economic empowerment require a multi-pronged approach. Globally and indeed in Kenya, the missing link in the many years of investment in gender equality has been the lack of a whole of society approach to tackle the challenges of gender inequality. Gender equality and women's empowerment in all its forms is a shared responsibility for all of us. This is why the National Policy on Women's Economic Empowerment 2024 is a game changer in Kenya, as it outlines a comprehensive multi-sectoral implementation plan for advancement of women's economic empowerment. In conclusion, Honorable Chairperson, the recommendation to the Departmental Committee, this Honorable Committee is invited to respectively consider the contents of this memorandum and support National Policy on Women Economic Empowerment 2024 to pave way for a more inclusive, equitable, and sustainable economic future women in Kenya. I submit.
Thank you very much for the submission. You start noting down, we'll ask you a few questions so that we can understand this document. And I'll start with the question. I only have 3, and then any other person who has question will ask you. I'll start with this policy does not substantially cover broader areas such as sexual and reproductive health, rights and education barriers previously covered under the National Policy on Gender and Development of 2019. How does the ministry plan to address the omission or align with the National Policy on Gender and Development 2019 in this area? So, 3.2. In 3.2, as you're doing your submission, you said, the development of the policy entailed a highly consultative process, both at the national and the county level, which informed the content of the policy. Key stakeholders, including representative of Kenya Women Parliamentarian KWOPA, government ministry, county government, development partner, civil society organization, community-based organization, faith-based organization, and the academia. There was a consultative end of forum. That one, I also want to ask a member of KWOPA. I was not ever invited, or I did not add to that voice, or maybe I missed that meeting. And then the final question is I had written it somewhere. In your opinion, Waziri, is there any correlation between what the policy proposes and the work currently being done by the county women representative, that is the GAF? Those are my three take questions. You'll be taking two, and then from two members, and then you respond as you continue in that order. Vice, do you have any question?
Waziri, you have said in 4.5 that for the first time in the history of the country, we have a government-led multi-sectoral framework for women's economic empowerment. Do you have confirmation, because we are running a strained economy, and you are saying that we have a serious government-led? Is this policy one that will come and rot in the archives like the others because of lack of funding? What guarantees can you give us from the Treasury that this policy is going to be implemented to the letter, and that it is not going to form part of the many policies, good policies, that have been passed and shelved? Number two, the policy implementation matrix estimates a cost of 1.6 billion over 5 years. Has the National Treasury again undertaken to allocate specific budget lines for these activities? And two, how will the ministry mobilize additional resources from development partners, private sector, civil society organizations in support of the policy programs as envisioned in the policy resource mobilization? Those two are key, because an unfinanced policy is as good as paper. So thank you.
Waziri, before you respond, we have other visitors who have joined us. I'll give you Honorable Nyenze after the Cabinet Secretary answers the several questions. Who had not introduced themselves? Like I've seen, there's the Chair 47. Introduce yourself as I introduce Timonyonyi as he comes in.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Jane Kagiri, County MP Laikipia, and the chairperson of the Caucus 47 Women Reps. Thank you.
Tim, you ready to introduce yourself?
Good morning, Chair. My name is Timo Wanyonyi, Member of Parliament, Westlands, and also a member of this committee.
Lillian, did you introduce yourself?
Good morning, all. My name is Lillian Sioi, County MP Trans Nzoia, and a member of 47 Caucus.
Our Cabinet Secretary, take us through the 5 questions.
Thank you, Chair. I will answer systematically. Let me begin with the elephant in the room, which is, was there enough consultations? The development of the national policy on women economic empowerment has entailed a highly consultative processes, both at the national and county levels, which inform the content of the policy. The policy was guided by evidence drawn from past initiatives and in-depth analysis informed by the current status of women economic empowerment efforts and programmatic interventions by various sectors. A technical working group was formed to determine the policy's context, structure, and content. The policy processes was formed to determine the
point of order.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm concerned the response to the first question is already missed because the CS is reading again what she read. The question is very precise. Is there evidence of the participation? That question requires yes or no act with evidence. When you talk about evidence, who are consulted, categories of consultation, dates of consultation, signing of the consultation, the agenda for consultation, report on the consultation. I submit.
Chair, allow me to add something. As Bensouda is saying, the first sentence in your answer missed actually the question. What we want to know is who are the people who came up with the policy and who are the 47 maybe involved. We want to know exactly the people who are involved so that we get the point right.
Thank you. I was going there. So let me then start by answering. The answer is yes.
Okay.
And this is why I'm saying it is yes. In 2020, a technical working group was formed to oversee the development of the national policy on women economic empowerment. The action which was initiated then was the development, we initiated the development of the national policy on women economic empowerment, and the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, in partnership with other key development partners, formulated the National Women Economic Empowerment Policy in 2020. Let's proceed. On 3rd July,
Let her finish that sentence so that we can be able to indulge properly.
on 3rd July, and I'm now beginning to mention dates. On 3rd July 2024, the draft policy was submitted to University of Nairobi. We have to realign the policy with the current government's agenda, taking into consideration various pertinent factors such as the Vision 2030, the Medium-Term Plan 4, the Kenya Demographic Health Survey 2022, Economic Survey Report 2023, the Kenya Time Use Survey 2021, the Kenya National Care Needs Assessment Survey of 2022, and other emerging national development priorities. UIN, we have also incorporated into the policy a list of issues and proposed policy actions which were an outcome of a workshop organized by the State Department in collaboration with UN Women in Naivasha from 2024, focusing on incorporating climate change consideration into the policy. There was a pre-validation workshop which was held on 26 to 31st May 2024, which comprised technical officers from the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, which revised the policy document and ensured that it has captured necessary substantive issues, policy and implementation actions within the context of women economic empowerment, and it adapted to a conventional policy structure. Policy validation was held on 14 June 2024 at Safari Park Hotel. And the objectives of the stakeholders validation workshop was to sensitize the stakeholders on the national policy on women economic empowerment. And it was also to receive stakeholders' inputs and submissions for incorporation in the policy, and to validate the draft national policy on women economic empowerment, including its implementation matrix. Over 120 participants was drawn for the ministries, departments, and agencies, county governments, through the COG, civil society, academia, media, development partners, and other stakeholders participated in the validation exercise.
Waziri.
And Keopa was in all this.
Waziri, 1 minute. Let me seek clarity. From your answer, it looks like your document is highly technical and you only consulted intellectuals and people you chose. The reason the women county MPs are here is largely because they came across this document like most of us first when it was passed by cabinet. The question they're asking is, the women reps, was their input? These are the key stakeholders because they are the ones who do a lot of women activity on the ground. And if you wanted to enrich this document, they are like the dairy mill you need for more milk in cows, these women MPs. If their input is not there, you missed the point by a large margin. And the reason these people are here, if their input was already captured, you would be sitting here with a committee only. So answer their concerns.
1 minute. Our cabinet secretary, actually, I'm the one who asked you about the 3.2 because I had the consultation. And if you check the consultation with Kenya Women Parliamentarian, the Kenya Women Parliamentarian are seated here with you today, even if not all of them, a fraction of them who understand this document very well. And then it says that they went to Safari Park where they had 120 participants. And whatever we are discussing here is very important. So when we are taking these figures and we are saying this policy, we reach to this policy that everybody was included. On that one, Waziri, where you are seated, I think you have been misguided. On this one, you have been misguided because a paper like this one ought to have the practicing, because they are practicing. It is not like even you are asking opinion. The women who are seated here are practicing, they are doing it. So if they are not involved, it is not something will be done, they are doing it. And their voices were not heard. And that's why they are seated here to ask, to what level were they involved? Because they are stakeholders. At what level was the public participation done?
The first mention is that the public participation was incepted by technocrats in 2020. 2020, chair, even the CS had not been appointed. 2020, even the PS had not been appointed as the PS for gender. In as much as we know that when you occupy an office, you take up all, there is responsibility. You take up all the responsibility, whether debts, credit, those who have died, those who are being buried, those who are married, and the like. We all know that you are hardly even 1 year in this office. Of course, I have something which I'm reserving in the AOB, which is critical because even Bensouda is seeing you for the first time. So I want to say that having technocrats in 2020 means, as the vice chair stated, are we operating on something that will be in the archives? So 2020, the technocrats were with these things in the archives. 2021, they were there with these things in the archives. All of a sudden, it has gone to the cabinet. It has gone to first cabinet meeting, second cabinet meeting. Is there justification? To me, Chair, on that note, I know you'll give me my time. This document is dead on arrival. We are starting a fresh public participation, dead on arrival, unless we are pretending here.
Honorable Jane Kagiri.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the opportunity. Chair, through your office, I invited our representative from KEWOPA called Mercy. And Mercy is briefing me that KEWOPA was only involved in the national care policy. On the women economic policy, KEWOPA was not involved, and that is reliable information. So, Chair, as we said in the last meeting, it is good we accept that we are not doing a policy for the sake of it to be on a shelf. Let us be involved, let us everybody be part of it if we are going to ensure a successful document.
Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I think
1 minute.
Chair, I'm just wondering if Europa is saying they were not involved, then what are we talking about? I think that document should not even service.
Nyenze, sorry, thank you. And actually, you're the one who raised your hand first. Continue, Nyenze, Honorable Nyenze.
It's okay. Thank you, Chair. Actually, mine is a concern on the 4.3 from your presentation, that the policy focuses on key sectors, and you mentioned all the sectors, there are so many of them. And I also went through the policy, and my concern is there duplication of roles from the other ministries? Because when I looked at, I actually went through the policy, and I give an example of transport and infrastructure. What is in transport and in infrastructure? With this policy, is this one only catering for women only, yet roads are being used by everyone. So is there a duplication of roles? And yet we are saying there are no funds in the country. So it's like we have gone through all the other sectors and picked something on women, yet there are ministries and departments which are dealing with this one already. Thank you, Chair.
We're going to do, don't answer, Waziri. First, wait a bit. Is there anybody who has a question on this particular one? Because I want to give a way forward. Waziri. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I think majority of the complaints we are having is because of we were not involved. When I go through the documents, it is favoring the women. Not unless I'm not understanding the document well, because it stipulates that in every ministry, in every department, we should have something for the women. So to me, I think as Kewopa, as women, we had a mini meeting the other day, but I think the mistake that the CS did not involve the women from the beginning, which is wrong because we needed to walk the journey together. So we didn't walk the journey together, but I don't know if we could have another meeting just to understand, because I feel like the document is so good and very beneficial to the women.
Thank you.
Chair.
Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. As much as we may read through the policy document and understand, I think we need time. 47 members are too many, a bigger number. We are not even 5 in this room. And it looks like we've not been involved fully. I've gone through the document. It's good. As my colleague says, it involves most activities, most sectors favoring the women. But we really need to go through the whole document. We need to understand. We have different levels of understanding for everybody on board. So I think, Chair, we need a 1 day or a 2-day session just to have everybody involved, co-worker members, and most of the 47 members, because we're the ones dealing with the women in the counties, in the constituencies. So I think we need more time, go through every article as into every objective of this document, and then it will be good. If we are all involved, we will not have any objections. It's a good document, but we need to be involved. We need to have time to go through with the PS, with your department, CS, with the chair. Then, unless the timelines for this policy, I think we need to get time. We will be breaking for recess. We can create a little time, Chair, go through and have all of us reading from the same page. Thank you.
Thank you. Waziri, I think there's a misunderstanding in the entire document, not because the document is not good, and to remove the, like what honorable member from Kilifi has said, I think we need a workshop ourselves and the ministry. We are out. We take a paragraph per paragraph. We take ourselves through, we understand, we own the document. All of us, we own the document. By the time now it is coming for a committee for report writing, we are all on the same page because we are all discussing women matters to which all of us hold very dearly, from your side, from our side. So to you, even there's no need of you answering this, answering that. What we need to do, you come now with the document, sit us down. We discuss paragraph 1, we are done, we are comfortable, we all agree. We move to the next one, because if it goes like this and even we keep talking, already on the Bensuda side is dead on arrival. And we and honorable, yes, yeah. So what we need, what we need to do, so that now she can feel, because if you did the document is good, then we define the roles, who should do what, so that all of us are comfortable. Because when you read through it, it's a good document. But because there was no public participation, there was no involvement with the key stakeholders. They are stakeholders, but they are key stakeholders. Because they were not involved, I would say, we hold a meeting, even if it will take us from a Thursday through Sunday. And then we come up with a document that once we come here, even the ASEPAs, all the NGOs that want to be there so that we can give our voices. By the time we are done with this policy, by the time the committee is doing a report, we all own the document. What do you think about that, Cabinet Secretary?
Thank you, Chair. Let me also extend my gratitude to all the members who have contributed to today. I agree with you. You know, there is no need of coming up with a document that has gone all the way. Then we shoot it down. Later on, we say, if we had read, if only we had discussed, we would have been able to have a different opinion. Most of us here are women, and we want the best interest for the women of Kenya, us included. So I want to concur with you that a workshop would be good enough so that we can discuss. Other than this, we can also have the discussion on the issue of the regulations. Remember that is pending. So we can have the two agendas and we ensure that we discuss. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to arrive at a conclusion and a way forward. That will not be a document, as Vice Chair says, that will only gather the dust somewhere. So I concur, I support, and we shall proceed that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. That one is very good. So what we need to do, all of us, we will have a meeting. It will be communicated early enough so that we can accommodate as many stakeholders, those who are needed. Even we can bring other people who have other voices. We come up with a document that will be bigger than all of us, that will be used even by the women who come after us. So that now, the next time at the floor of the House, Waziri, you need Besuda to defend this document at the floor of the House. You need Honorable Nyenze or Honorable Jane Kagiri to defend the document, or Honorable Tim has said, if the main stakeholders were not involved, what are we doing here? But because the document is already here, we come up with a date and then we'll communicate to all the sides, and then we are there, we retreat, and by the time we come out of that retreat, we'll have a proper document. Thank you very much for coming. Honorable members, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate both sides. As a committee, we say asanteni sana, meeting adjourned. Thank you. And there's a cup of tea outside there.
To come, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Committee, we can be left a little bit behind. Lakini wageni